In terms of like, we talked about like early stage brand building. When should a startup think about hiring for brand marketing? Or like, what's the org structure that they should think about in driving brand?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it really depends on the rest of the team that is in place. And I'm not just talking about marketers. So, for example, if you have a really good designer that's in place before you even hire any marketers at all, and the designer is talented, not just in product design, but like has an affinity towards brand design, towards graphic design, because not all designers come in the same flavors, just like us marketers, they're different. But if your designer that you do have likes marketing design and appreciates brand design, you are lucky because you don't have to find a brand marketer for quite some time. You could start with a product marketer, you could start with a growth marketer, and the designer will fill in the gaps. You need a creative person. Sometimes you have a founder who is pretty creative or like has a really keen design sense and they know exactly what they want. These were okay, the Collison brothers, the Stripe brothers, like they know what they want. They have a keen sense of style. So first of all, they hired a huge brand design team because they appreciated that. But it started with them, right? Like it started with they have style and they have a vision, and over time, like the creative team at Stripe is massive, enormous, and everybody loves their brand. Um, at Segment, one of the co-founders was a designer, and so we didn't have to hire brand marketers for a long time. In fact, when I was hired at Segment, I was hired to be a product marketer, primarily because the Segment founders were like, we don't know what marketing is even. So like, every marketer is a product marketer. And I'm like, yes, hire me, I can do it. But, within 3 months, the deliverables and my projects that I was handing in made it very clear that I'm a brand person, more so than a product marketer. And so we oriented in that direction. So I would say, if you have no good design resources in-house, you don't have a creative person in-house, and none of your founders would raise their hand and be like, yes, I am both creative and design oriented, you should hire a marketer who has those skills. They don't have to be a brand marketer, but they should be a generalist who like is leaning towards a brand marketing major. You need a creative arm. And you can tell when you look at startups that, they have those walls of text and they have like PMM materials. People can read a novel about a feature if they wanted to, but you could tell just by looking at the site and the materials, they don't have a single creative person there. And that's a big bummer because again, it goes to the punching above your weight class. So